What's up, Metal Milieu followers? Michael the Metal Angel here today to talk about more things metal. Today I would like to talk about the one and only Running Wild. I guess you know I've been talking about Rolf, the Noise Remasters, the Noise Reissues, and everything. I've been playing Rapid Foray, the brand new Running Wild now, for probably a month straight. Actually went and got myself a copy. I had my friend burn it for me. I had a promo copy, and I actually saw his copy, so I can tell you on the inside there's a nice poster. That poster is of a ship. It's supposed to be of a map, and it was supposed to come with a compass, and a good friend of mine actually got the box set, and he got the vinyl version with the CD, which actually comes with another copy of the CD, which is pretty cool. But mine's not open, but it's still, I can't wait to open it. It's a great, great album. I have been a Running Wild fan now since I first heard them on Metal Shop, when I first heard Adrian. And that was way back in 1983, and I told, Rockin' Ralph Kasparak, I'm so glad Running Wild are back. Obviously, there's all the politics as to whether or not Running Wild are really active. He made it very clear to me that he is actually putting together a band, and that band will be for playing festivals. But no, Running Wild is still just a studio-based band. So, the last couple albums, they were good, but they really weren't Running Wild. This is truly a return to form. This embodies all the stuff that Masquerade, maybe even Pile of Skulls, definitely a little bit of the Brotherhood, even Rogues in Vogue, which a lot of people thought was sucked, but I didn't think it sucked at all. Or the, Revivalry, or just any of the, great Running Wild albums. Obviously, Running Wild began as basically, like Slayer, a Judas Priest speed power metal band, so everybody loves The Mighty Gates to Purgatory. And the songs are kind of evil and everything like that. But then it wasn't until Branded and Exiled, the follow-up, that, Ralph and the group really began to write some really, really strong music. And then, of course, Under Jolly Roger set the precedent for what is the one and truly only pirate metal. Sure, there's Ailstorm and other bands playing pirate metal, but Running Wild did it first. Okay, maybe Stormwitch did it first with Tigers of the Sea, but Running Wild kept it consistent. They followed up with, Death or Glory, and then every album after that. Unfortunately, just like with Dio in the 80s and 90s, lots of lineup changes, only one consistent long-term member, and that's Ralph himself. I met some guys at Doro last week who had the honor of seeing Gravedigger. Got to talk to Jens Becker, who of course played on some of the best Running Wilds albums. Got to talk to Tilo Herman. I think maybe Tilo may not be in Gravedigger, I could stand corrected, but he was also on some of the good Running Wild albums. But either way, if you haven't heard Running Wild, I highly recommend it. Once again, wearing a shirt that's way too tight, but I have ordered a Port Royal album, which of course, followed, I said Death or Glory, but it was actually Port Royal that followed Under Jolly Roger, where we heard the song Conquistadors, which, actually bands like Power Quest now are covering, and Sabaton are covering Running Wild, so it's kind of cool. It's like a second and third generation. Also want to mention that I'm very excited about the new Kai Hansen that is coming out, the solo album coming from Kai Hansen. I thought he said that he wasn't going to sing anymore, which is why he hired a vocalist for Gamma Ray, but it turns out he is singing, and he's teamed up with all his buddies. So the new album is going to, the solo album is going to have Hansi Kirsch, it's going to have Tobias Sammet, it's going to have Mike Kiske, it's going to have pretty much anybody who he has worked with in the last 35 years of metal. Matter of fact, it's called 30 Years of Metal, but I guess he's not counting his days with Gentry and, Iron Fist and all that stuff with Pete Silk. Either way, I have not heard it. I cannot wait to hear it. Look for the double disc version, because you get the second disc, which is all Kai on vocals, whereas the other ones are, of course, the guest vocalist. That being said, I would like to touch on the Gamma Ray Remasters, the third time's the charm, I guess. I just recently purchased the 20 Years of Heavy from Hamburg Gamma Ray. It's called the Anniversary Edition. Either way, this is insanity and genius. The first three Gamma Ray albums with Ralf Scheepers are so underrated. Heading for Tomorrow is awesome, and the double disc of that is really good. Sign No More is one of my favorite all-time Gamma Ray albums, and the double disc of that is good. This time, you get, more bonus tracks, unreleased tracks, other stuff like that. I will say that the packaging sucks ass. About 10 years ago, Gamma Ray remastered their catalog up to, I'm going to say, not quite sure, maybe the first 7 albums, but it was an awesome puzzle. It was an actual puzzle And each, it was kind of like Judas Priest and Iron Maiden and Wasp and Megadeth did, and if you collected each one, you actually made the mascot for Gamma Ray. Those were awesome. They included the Judas Priest covers, they included other covers, Nazareth covers, all that kind of stuff. They sounded great, the packaging was great, but I guess Kai and the boys wanted to give you something, a little bit better. Unfortunately, the label gives you the, I have an open mind, but I've seen the Sigh No More and I've seen the Heading Tomorrow, and of course the label gives you the, they're just basically glorified, you slide them out, the booklet's all crunched inside, and the discs all slide out. So the packaging sucks. Stradivarius also did their Infinite, and once again, the packaging sucks. But the music is awesome. And I cannot wait for the first one when Kai finally went solo, and that's Land of the Free, and that's forthcoming. Of course, we'll see which other ones he keeps doing, but, Gamma Ray kind of, has kind of had their peaks and valleys and stuff, but, 90s Gamma Ray is just absolutely, absolutely amazing. And I think Power Plant might be the final one that was remastered. I think after that, Majestic and stuff like that. But now it's everything. They promised that they're going to go all the way up to, including the Land of the Free 2. Why do people always do sequels to albums that are so great? There's no need for Operation Mindcrime 2. There's no need for Land of the Free 2. Anyway, there was no need for Keepers of the Keys 3 or whatever that album was that Halloween attempted. But, here we're talking about power metal. Can't go wrong with anything by Running Wild, although I highly recommend the noise stuff, especially the noise stuff that's being remastered. Even the first years of piracy, Ready for Boarding. All the Gamma Ray that's going to be remastered. All those early Ralph Scheeper albums and Kai Hansen albums. Once again, amazing lineup. Members are now in Iron Savior. And join me next time. We keep talking about, everything, all things metal. And stay metal up the irons.